This is your market update for Monday, December 8th. All right, we're going to get started with the S&P cash daily chart. Now, we do have some time and price resistance here. That's something to be aware of. That's something that tells you to trail up stops on any long positions. But this is still looking decent technically. We have price above the 200 simple, above the 50 simple, and then the 513 EMA combo is in a buy mode with the 5 above the 13. Okay, so that tells me that there's still potential to maybe reach for this extension here, the 70, 28, 71 area on the upside. Okay, that's if we can push through this resistance by a decent margin. Now, again, the reason why you want to protect yourself is the fact that we have a cluster of timing cycles. Now we have the fifth, 1, 2, 3, I don't know, was there 3 or 4 dates? I might be missing one, but we did have at least 3 dates on the 5th. And again, we're not seeing any majorly sell signals yet, but again, still a good idea to trail up stops on longs. As far as the December contract, we have that 100% projection there that we have not been able to get through, so there is time and price resistance there. But if we can push through this resistance plus the old resistance, then the potential is to 70, 70, let's call that, and a quarter for the S&P futures. As far as the 120-minute chart, you can still look at this chart and you can see that these swings that we've seen recently are just still similar to each other. We're not seeing swings that are much deeper than here, okay? And until we see that, we can't expect to see, much on the downside. So we're still going to continue to run these projections. If we hold above them on pullbacks and you see a trigger, yeah, then you definitely have a reason to look at, a trade against them. Now, standout area here is this 68, 59 to 62 area. It includes quite a bit of symmetry and a 618 retracement. I'm not sure we're going to get down there, but if we do, that is definitely a key decision. Off of the most recent low, we're just going to have, well, this is not an official setup, but we'll just have the targets off of this last low, which would be 69.15 and a half or so, and then 69.28. Let's call that 75. All right, how about the NASDAQ? As far as NASDAQ is concerned, so I went and found a few more dates that are coming as far as the timing here. So we've got the 8th, which is Monday, and the 9th. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cycles between the 8th and the 9th. Again, just a reason to ratchet up stops, but this chart does show that all the averages are on the side of the bulls still, which kind of leaves us open for a potential upside target at 268.15. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Protect profits, but if it continues in your favor, then we look for these potential targets on the upside. As far as the NASDAQ December contract, we are at resistance of 786 and symmetry right here, right now, but if we push through it, then we do have some other hurdles on the way up, like this 261.45 all the way to 263.53. I'm going to get rid of these old ones. Then we have an old extension up at 268 even, but a minimum target off of this low, which we continue to hold above, is 270.77. Okay, so that is the December contract. Still looks positive technically, just have to be aware of the time and price resistance and should protect profits. As far as the 120-minute chart, same thing. These pullbacks are just similar to other pullbacks within this uptrend. So unless that breaks, we still have potential to see higher prices. But again, due to the timing, it's a good time to trail up those stops. As far as support, one of the areas that stands out is 256.11 and 256.44 area. So far, we are holding above there. I'm not actually going to give you a target off of this chart, though, because I think, let's just make sure we have the right swing. Yeah, let's see. If we take this high to low, it's going to give us a target of 259.26. Let's just make sure I'm using the right swings here, high to low. Yep, yeah, there it is. Okay. All right, so this would be your potential on the upside if we continue to hold above this support, 259.26, and then 260.01 would be those upside targets. As far as IWM, still have some higher targets. We still have all the averages on the side of the bulls. You're above the 200, you're above the 50, 5 and 13 EMA combos, bullish with the 5 above the 13. That's the blue above the red. So potential target is 259.26. Another decision comes in at 257.17. It's not a target off the setup, but it would be an extension off of the swing inside of that swing. Okay, so IWM still looks good at the moment. And then as far as the 30-minute chart, right now it's still in a buy mode. I don't have too many standouts here or anything, close that looks that interesting, but we'll take another look at it next week. And then let's take a look at our other charts, like Apple. Now, Apple has at least 2 standout zones that you can look at for possible new buy entry for whether it's a day trade or a swing trade. 276.62 to 278.76. Ooh, actually, no. Looks like 277.55. Let me change that. 277.55. Okay, that's that support. And then underneath that, 273.25 to 274.22. Those are the first 2 standout buy decisions. And they would be considered royal setups because all the averages are still on the side of the bulls as we pull back into support. Okay. If we go much below those, then we have to be prepared for a deeper downside correction instead. The 30-minute chart of Apple, now it did cross to the downside as far as, the 834 EMA crossover. And we are on top of new support here, 276.97 and 278.09. But again, you want to wait for your triggers against these support decisions. I mean, if we hold here, it should be pretty much the same target that I just gave you. 291.50, 295.15 would be targets if we hold above this low. If we make a new low instead, I will have to recalculate levels for you. All right, let's take a look at, where is it? Amazon. So Amazon, we do have a decision anywhere between 224.27 to 227.08. Nice cluster of support there. Let's see if it holds, and then if it triggers. Let's see, did it trigger? Not on a 30-minute chart. It's possible it may have triggered on a 15, but not on a 30-minute chart just yet. But of course, this is, also supports the buy side, this support. It's just that it's considered to be counter trend on this time frame chart. Let's see where we're on the daily though. Yeah, I don't like the fact that the 513 is crossing to the downside on the daily. So we don't have everything in perfect order in Amazon, but we still do have decisions that you can look at for trades. It's just that it's much better when the averages, kind of back you up. All right, as far as Google, now this was a royal setup too, and this has hit, it held, it did trigger, I believe, on a 30-minute chart. But we need to clear these next hurdles as far as retracements for potential targets at 332.89 and 338.06. If we end up making a new low instead, we do have other lower support decisions that we'll take a look at next. As far as Nvidia, we're kind of in between decisions here, and this is not great looking technically, okay, because we're below the 50, 5 and 13, still in a sell mode. So I don't really have anything great. I mean, I would be interested in this zone for a potential decision or this zone for a potential decision. Okay, that's a cluster below, that's a cluster above, but right in the middle, don't really have anything. How about on the 30-minute? Well, the 30-minute chart, this last setup is still valid. The symmetry support that held, if we continue to hold above here, Then the targets are 187.44 and 189.71. Then we have Tesla. So Tesla has cleared the hurdles. So it definitely increases the odds for a continued rally towards the targets. Now also, at this moment in time, all the averages are still on the side of the bulls. We're above the 200, above the 50, and the 5 and 13 are in a buy mode. Now when we first tested this support, we didn't have the averages in the right place to say it was a higher probability setup, but it still did end up holding. But now we do have all of the averages on the right side, so it makes me feel more confident that we could see some continued rally in Tesla. Just because it looks like it doesn't guarantee it's going to happen, but you know, that's what we always watch for. Tesla on the 30-minute chart, don't really have too much because we're a little bit short of the support here. But we do have plenty of areas to look at on pullbacks that will, you know, give you some information on early next week, okay, in case any of these levels don't hold. Then as far as gold in the bigger picture, all the averages are still on the side of the bulls. In the bigger picture, a potential upside target is 45.68. We do have hurdles on the way up that are listed on this chart. But for me, you know, I'd prefer to look at the buy side in gold because of where we're at with the averages. Now, as far as the some support decisions, well, here's the, oh, and I did do a free video on this one too, showing you how I set it up. But here, these are some areas that you want to watch for, you know, decisions. I mean, this is a cluster and this is a cluster. 42.24.97 to 42.28.90. 42.18 to 42.22.30. Okay, so those are a couple of areas or setups that you can look at. But remember, no trigger, no trade. If there isn't no trigger, forget about it. And then as far as crude oil, now we did clear a bunch of resistance on the way up. There is still more, 60.83 to 61.15. But the potential, since we did clear that resistance, is to 63.13. Now, obviously, there's no guarantee that we're going to get there, but that's typically what we'd shoot for. It's going to be the 1272 extension off of this last high-to-low swing. But I'm also adding this projection, low to high, projected from this low. So basically, we'd be looking at 62.95 to 63.13 if it continues to play out from this last low that was basically made at simple symmetry. Okay, so what's that? Well, let's do this high to this low. 474, and now let's do this high to this low, 599. Okay, that's not the swing, so it's got to be somewhere else. Let me try this one, high to low, 544. You know what? I'm not sure where the swing came from, but it is in here somewhere because otherwise it wouldn't have shown up. But bottom line, I think we do have some upside potential because the 513 did cross back to the upside here. And then as far as the 120-minute chart, it looks like we have pulled back into some symmetry support. It seems to be holding if it continues to hold. Let me give you a potential target. You can just grab the high to the low using those extensions. First target, 60.67. Second target is 60.88. And that is pretty much it. Beyond that, everybody have a great weekend. I will have some charts up Sunday. Please let me know, continue to let me know if you have any issues with the new Zoho room, because it seemed like the charts dropped on that also. So now maybe I don't have a real fix. I don't know, but I'm going to continue to work on it. That's it. Have a great weekend.